We collected a group of smaller-sized gourds. Kishan had about 10, and I had 4. He opened his group first, which contained rice, a butterfly, a hot pepper, snow, a feather, a lily, a cotton ball, a mouse, another snake, which he got rid of. It could have been harmless, but better to be safe than sorry, and an earthworm. Disappointed, we turned to my group. The first had thread, the second contained drum sounds, the third held a vanilla scent, and the fourth, shaped like a small apple, had nothing. We waited for a minute and started to get nervous, thinking one of us was going to get sick again. The broken gourd disappeared like the others. So something had happened. Is that it? Do you see anything?
No. Wait. I hear something.
After a minute, I said, "Well, what is it?"
There's something different about the room, but I can't tell what. Wait. The air. It's moving. Can you sense it?
No.
Give me a minute.
Kishan crept around the room, examining shelves, walls, and gourds. He placed his hand on one of the walls and leaned in closer, bumping gourds that rolled and shifted.
There's air coming through here. I think it's a door. Help me move these gourds.
We cleared the entire section of wall, which left only bare shelves. I can't move this one, it's stuck. It was a tiny gourd that seemed to be growing out of the wall. I pulled and pushed, but it wouldn't budge. Kishan stepped back to get a better look and started laughing. I was still yanking on the small gourd. "What is it? Why are you laughing?"
Stand back a second, Kels.
I moved out of the way, and he placed his hand on the gourd. "I don't know what you're trying to prove. It won't move." Kishan twisted and pushed.
"It's a knob, Kelsey."
He laughed and pushed open the section of wall that was now obviously a door. On the other side, we found more steps that led higher into the tree. He held out his hand.
"Shall we?"
"You know, I'm never going to look at pumpkin pie the same way again." His laughter echoed through the tree trunk. After a few hours of climbing, Kishan called a halt.
"Let's stop and eat something, Kels. I can't keep up with you. I wonder how long your special energy drink is going to last."
I stopped about 10 steps ahead of him and waited for him to catch up. "Now you know how I feel trying to keep pace with you tigers all the time." He grunted and slung the backpack off his shoulders. We made ourselves comfortable on a large step. He unzipped the bag, took out the golden fruit, and rolled it between his palms. After thinking for a moment, he grinned and spoke in his native language. A large plate shimmered and solidified. The steam coming from the vegetables smelled familiar. I wrinkled my nose. Curry? Ugh. My turn. I wished for scalloped potatoes, cherry-glazed ham, green beans almondine, and rolls with honey butter. When my dinner appeared, Kishan eyed my plate.
"How about we share?"
"No thanks. Not a curry fan." He finished off his meal quickly and kept trying to get me to look at imaginary monsters so he could steal bites from my plate. I ended up just giving him half. Another hour of stairs, and my power juice wore off. I felt drained. Kishan let me rest while he looked for the next house. When he returned, I was writing in my journal.
"I found the next doorway, Kels. Come on. It might be better to rest there."
The dusty circular steps inside the trunk of the world tree led us to a cottage overgrown with thick ivy and flowers. Tinkling laughter could be heard inside. I whispered, "There are people in there. Let's be careful." He nodded and untied the chakram from his belt while I nocked an arrow.
"Ready?"
"Ready," I whispered. He carefully opened the door and we were greeted by the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. They ignored our weapons and bid us welcome to their home. A gorgeous woman with thick waves of long brown hair, green eyes, downy soft ivory skin, and cherry lips, dressed in a shimmering blush-colored gown, took Kishan's arm. "You poor things. You must be tired after your trip. Come inside. You can bathe and rest from your travels."
"A bath sounds great to me,"
said an entranced Kishan. She paid absolutely no attention to me. Her eyes were locked on Kishan. She stroked his arm and murmured to him of soft pillows, hot water, and refreshments. Another woman joined the first one. She was blonde and blue-eyed and wore a gown of sparkling silver. "Yes, come," she said. "You will find comfort here. Please, follow us." They started to lead Kishan away when I protested. Kishan turned and a man approached. 6 feet of tanned, muscular, bare chest, blue-eyed, blonde male turned all of his attention to me.
"Hello. Welcome to our humble home. My sisters and I rarely have any visitors. We would love for you to stay with us for a while."
He smiled at me, and I blushed furiously. I stammered, "That's very generous of you." Kishan frowned at the guy, but the girls turned their long-lashed fluttery charm on and distracted him again. Kishan, I don't think..." Another man came out from behind a curtain. This one was even better looking than the first. He was dark-haired, with dark eyes, and his mouth riveted my attention. He pouted and said,
"Are you sure you can't stay with us? Just for a while? We'd love to have some company."
He sighed dramatically.
"The only thing we have to keep us occupied is our book collection."
"You have a book collection?"
"Yes."
He smiled and offered me his arm.
"Will you allow me to show it to you?"
Kishan had left with the women, and I decided to check out the book collection. I rationalized that I could always blast the guys with lightning if they tried something. They did indeed have a book collection and happened to have many of the books that I loved. In fact, on closer inspection, I found I knew every title. They offered me refreshments.
"Here, taste one of these tarts. They are amazing. Our sisters are excellent cooks."
"Oh, no thanks. Kishan and I just ate."
Then perhaps you would like to freshen up?
"You have a bathroom?"
"We do. It's behind the curtain over there. There's also a shower. Pull on the long vine and water will rain down from the leaves of the tree. We will arrange some refreshment and a comfortable place for you to rest."
"Thank you." We were obviously in the house of sirens. Their bathroom was real, thankfully, and I took the opportunity to shower and change clothes. When I emerged, I found a long golden gown had been left hanging for me. It was similar to the gowns the 2 women had been wearing. My original clothes were still torn and bloody, so I put on the golden dress and hung out my fairy clothes to see if the fairies would still clean them in the world tree. Quietly, I read through Mr. Kadam's notes on sirens. I skimmed through the sirens of the Odyssey and the story of Jason and the Argonauts. I already knew those tales, but he had also included information on sea nymphs, mermaids, and mermen, who were sometimes called sirens as well. These people were probably more tree nymphs than water nymphs. They retained beauty until they died. They could ride through the air, slip through small holes. That's a new one. Extremely long life, sometimes invisible, Special times are noon and midnight. Midnight should be soon. They could be dangerous, cause madness, a stroke, dumbness, and besotted infatuation. A soft knock startled me from my study. "Yes?"